5, 4, 3, 2, showtime. Good afternoon. Welcome to Primal Sports Decks. I'm your host, Kane the Schwab Watson. And with me today,
O'Neal, One Prime,
Golson, a new co-host. The coach is out of the island, so, the show must go on, and we'll bring it to you this week again. I want to big up our listeners, 96.7 Fit FM, listeners in Trelawney, people on the Primal 4K app, Facebook, YouTube. To all the listeners, we have a jam-packed show today. Today we have the likes of Coach Eddie Lewis out of Guyana. He's not on the bench. We want to know why. I mean, there's always controversy surrounding table tennis. And one such later on in the show, we'll have the great Simon Tomlinson in studio alongside me, Kane Watson. We'll be interviewed for what, I don't know. Stay tuned for that. I guess that's something to do with some table tennis matters, because earlier in the week, news broke out that I retired. So we want to speak more on that, seeing that I've joined Simon Thompson in the retirement stages now. I want to see what's up with him. But we'll talk more about that later. And we have Dr. Neil Gardner. I know Champs is right around the corner and want to talk about his astonishing career. People know him as a doctor now, but back in the day, he was an Olympian and one of the greatest 400-meter hurdlers out of Jamaica. Yeah, so he did a lot of things back in his day. We want to hear his side of the story, because I'm researching him, and he did long jump, high jump, triple jump, 60-meter hurdles, 110 hurdles, 4 hurdles. But, I mean, he went to the Olympics as a 400-meter hurdler, but, you know what I mean? And now he's a chiropractor. I mean, that everything that just sound like, he has lived 10 lives already. So we want to hear from him later on in the show. But before we have Coach Eddie Lewis, our first guest, we have a roundup of the week.
The week happenings, we see Ronaldo, another record. Messi, another record. Coach Nagelsmann, Nagelsmann from Bayern, he was sacked.
No.
I have a theory as to why he was sacked, but
I know Thomas Tuchel now is the head coach of Bayern Munich. I mean, former coach of Borussia Dortmund, so he's not want to cross the border again, because Dortmund and Bayern Munich as a heated rival. But football, Jamaica's playing the Reggae Boys tomorrow also as well, and interesting squad. I mean, we see some omission, mostly foreign-based players. People applying their trade in Europe, but still a strong squad, one of our strongest squads we can feel. But, we don't see the likes of one Dujon Richards, what people are touting should be in the outfit more often, are, other local-based players. But, we'll talk more about that squad later on in the show. But, I mean, Mbappe now is the new captain of France, scoring 2 goals and 1 assist. I mean, as it's noted, CR7 now is the most capped player, men's international player of all time, with 197 games. Yeah, I mean, he already had the goal scoring record, but now he has the most capped games. I mean, Messi is scoring his 800 goal in his Argentina colors, and he seems to be having fun out there. Yeah, he's just enjoying his football for Argentina, which back in the day it was vice versa. He was enjoying club football and not enjoying international football. But now we see him, just enjoying himself out there.
When you have a team that is rallying
and club football is not going so well for him. So, I mean, you just take flip of the switch. Harry Kane becoming the all-time leading goal scorer for England. 54 goals passing, Wayne Rooney, and not winning a title. He doesn't have a title for England. They beat Italy 2-1 in Italy. First time doing that since 1961. Yeah. So Harry Kane now the leading goal scorer for England. Lukaku with a hat-trick after not scoring since October 2021. Yeah, not getting playing time, just hat-trick Sweden. Yeah, like it's nothing. Zlatan, the oldest player.
41.
Yeah, tender age of 41, Man say I'm the past, the present, and the future. Nonetheless, that man is never short on confidence. But, I mean, football is never stop playing. It's football. I mean, international break, and we see a lot of football being played. And I said the big one tomorrow, Jamaica is going to play Mexico. And I'm sure next week we'll have a roundup of that. And our last couple results of Mexico haven't been not so bad. I mean, we have a draw, a 2-1 loss. after conceding late in World Cup qualifying. And
Look
all.
at the history of Jamaica versus Mexico. We have really improved playing against them. We have really, really improved. We're not so shy again. And even in the Azteca, we used to talk about.
Yeah, so back in the day, we used to get some 5-love and 4-love from Mexico. Yeah.
They will fight over there.
Yeah.
We have a little more confidence now, so I'm just hoping that the squad selected does do what it's needed to be done out there and not get too.
I mean, Damien Lowe, Richard King, I mean,
Coach said different.
Andre Blake, and Coach Al Williamson, I mean, he's a tactician, so we see what he has up his sleeve for Mexico, and Mexico is the premier team in all ranked team and always qualifying for World Cup.
The whisper situation, I want to touch on it because I'm very disappointed. At 17 going 18, you have the chance to be in the Azteca. And you did considerably well against Trinidad. You're probably the most outstanding player in the Jamaica colours. And not to go with this squad. And he doesn't have a lot of football playing right now.
Yeah.
So the excuse of him
not being in the squad. But it's a talented squad, a full squad. I mean, the attackers in the squad are Liam Bailey, Karim Paris, Shamar Nicholson, Corey Burke, Trevante Stewart, who is the leading goal scorer in Premier League, Bobby Reed, Jamal Lowe. I mean, but they're attackers. They
I think Whisper had a different. Have some dynamic, can change the team around with his.
But even so, even if he's in the squad, I don't think he'll be out there in the 11. 15 minutes against Mexico? Yeah. I want the result. Yeah. Well, they never can tell still, but
15 minutes. And the excuse that they need to just not put a lot of pressure on him because he has so much going on at Chelsea and fans with him.
And it's not all about him. I mean, we have players out there, as I said, Trevante Stewart getting a call up now. He's the leading goal scorer.
Don't wait until he's 21. 22, I want him to lead the Jamaica team. Put the pressure on him now. Let him feel what it's like. He's going into the big leagues, It's not joke time.
I mean, having him in and around the squad is a good thing. And up now we have our first interviewee for the day. Coach Eddie Lewis out of Guyana. I mean, look like he's chilling there, man.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
Always. Too cool for
it's
school.
It's good to be back, man.
You're part of the Primal family, I know you and Peter always link up and talk. The chirp already, always chirping, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. But the news out of Guyana, because, we're following the stats, although, Team Jamaica did make it there, which we're disappointed to not be there, that we don't see on the bench. And I've been to several tours in the recent time.
Back on the program again, man. I see you guys have grown. You guys have grown tremendously since we last spoke. So kudos and congratulations to that. To answer your question, first of all, I wanna apologize to all my players. I know some of them probably feel a little let down.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't there. It wasn't an easy decision for me to make. It's something that I wrestled with for a very long time. There's a few reasons why I decided to take a stand and not be involved at these championships. Some I can't speak on air because I know everything is not for everybody and everything is not for the internet. And I think airing out your dirty laundry, so to speak, it puts the sport in a very bad light.
Yeah.
And as we both know, man, the sport is bigger. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than the executive. It's bigger than any issue that I have. So I'm going to refrain from that. But over the years, I think for my
recording in
contribution
progress.
to the sport, from my contribution, I don't think I haven't been treated fairly.
Yeah.
I think it's I don't feel a lot of times I don't feel valued.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even feel disrespected at times. But I continue to put it aside just for the sake of the players for country, you know, for the sport, but it's just stuff just keeps happening over and over again. I just came to a point where it's just enough is enough.
Yeah, you reach a breaking point.
Yeah. Recently, I just made a breaking point where I just can't continue. There's a culture like we only need Edie when it's time for championships.
Yeah.
So, like for this championship, I got a message. I have no communication from anybody for months.
Yeah.
And table tennis, this is what I do.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for the past 10 years. I've gotten national champions came out of my camp.
Yeah.
Caribbean champions came out of my camp. And as you so mentioned, we qualified for the Olympic, the first in history.
Yeah.
Myself,
Chelsea.
along with my play, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I've done a lot, I've contributed a lot, and mind you, I'm doing this mainly voluntarily.
Yeah.
I don't get a salary.
Yeah.
From it's almost voluntary. When you add up everything, I'm still in the red, and I've been in the red for over 10 years. I've been in the red.
And giving back.
But
I mean, from a player now to a coach.
Yeah.
And I see where and to me, that's where the difference with us and the Spanish-speaking countries and why they're always a step ahead of us is because, as I said, investing not only in the sport, but the players and the coaches. And we here tend to give back voluntarily, and the public don't really understand what's going on behind the scenes and how much we have to sacrifice. And even so, not even being acknowledged or compensated. Because I share your plight as a player. I mean, I'm probably going to coaching soon, who to tell. But I mean, and that holds back the sport. Because Guyana has great things going on, as I said, with Chelsea, Shemar, the whole action. And I'm sure your absence has left, a hole in the team, and that can affect the spirit of the team and the performance. Because you've been with them since, I mean, remember, from your playing days till now, I've been around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. I'm sure it affected them. It affected me deeply. It wasn't easy for me to sit there. I see them in trouble, and I can't give any assistance. But I mean, for the first time, I'm choosing me.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have an issue with that. A lot of people feel how they want to feel about it, and I mean that's fine.
Yeah, and to come at this time, I mean, your decision is yours. Because as you said, you've been doing this over 10 years, and
over 10 years,
you don't feel appreciated. And
if everyone's getting a big salary, then sure, but it's almost voluntarily, and then you still have people, handling you, treating you any type of way. I've watched better treatment handed out to foreign coaches. Yeah. And even some local coaches, but something like when it comes to Edie Lewis, I mean, I don't know what's the issue. But it seems like there's an issue with Edie Lewis.
I understand fully, because if you stay tuned later on in the show, I've retired former national champion Simon Thomas in studio, and me and him will be talking about stuff like that, because I mean, we're in and around the sport, and we've been doing this a while, and sometimes we feel unappreciated, to say the least.
Either understand what you're saying, and to know that you're on home soil, and to make a decision like this, it must have been very hard for you. Watching, you can't help your players, and this is home soil. This is not a way where you can say, hey, I'm not going to spend the money to leave. This is basically you can just drive to the venue and say, hey.
Exactly.
I understand you making that decision and choosing yourself. You said that this is it. You're basically done. Is it done, or you're waiting for some meeting with the board to say, hey, I need a resolution. My players need me. I love this sport. I've been doing it for years. Is this it, or this is just you putting a stand now to say, I need something. I need for you guys to listen to me and listen to my players and listen to what I want for my players, not just for myself, but my players, for the team and for Guyana.
Definitely, it's definitely the last. If we can come to some kind of resolution, because it cannot continue like this. It's unfair to me. It's also unfair to the players. Like for this championship, I got a message like 3 weeks ago to speak about preparation and a stipend for preparation. 3 weeks ago. This is the Central American qualifiers. This is the Pan American qualifiers.
Yeah.
We have Puerto Rico here. There's Cuba here. There's Dominican Republic. These guys are coming from all over Europe.
Yeah. They're paying for a living.
We're hosting. We've known this since last year, and it's just and it's always been this way. So okay, I come out and the 2 weeks, whatever, and then after the championships and after everything, okay, all right, nice having you. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Until the next time.
Yeah. But before we go, I mean, I agree with you when you said certain things shouldn't be aired out in the public. And before you go, what message do you want to state? What is your message you want to state, and how do you want to go forward with all this? Because I know you'll still be around TT, because TT is with us, whether you choose to be
for sure
with the association or not. But what is the message you leave with the viewers and that will reach the ear of table tennis in Ghana?
My message is, I mean, for us to be successful, for the players to have the best chance and the best opportunity to do well at this game. And our players, we finished third in the Caribbean Championships.
Yeah.
Third in the men, bronze in the men, bronze in the women.
Yeah.
So if you're doing this with little to nothing, if you put something in that, I mean, sky's the limit. They could have been playing for a gold medal of this evening instead of settling for bronze. So my message is, we cannot continue this way.
Yeah.
We cannot continue this way. Something have to give. It probably doesn't make any sense for me anymore. And very soon it's gonna start making sense for the players. I see Christopher Franklin have the same problem also.
Yeah.
So we're gonna continue to lose good talent and good athletes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Eddie. And I wish you the best. And I'm sure we'll see it down the road, because table tennis is in our blood. But we want the best. We want the best, not only for Ghana, but the English-speaking Caribbean to raise the level, and something has to be done from Ghana to Jamaica to Trinidad to Barbados. The association and people on board need to look to what they can do more for themselves to be better, competing with the likes, as I said, Cuba, Damrep. So thank you, Eddie.
Exactly, man. Thanks, man. It's a pleasure.
Man. Thanks for coming. I know you're always welcome to come back on Primal.
Yeah, man.
All right, big up.
Yeah,
man.
All right, man.
Yeah. So from the table tennis board to, I mean, the track, but I mean, first of all, multi-talented. I mean, where do we even start? Dr. Neil Gardner. Welcome to Primal Sports.
Hi, how are you doing, guys?
We're doing good. We're doing good. I mean, I'm you know, we have to do research before we go on show, and I don't even know where to start, because you're a chiropractor now. You're an Olympian. For your career from Carifta, and you do so many things, but
you don't look old enough to be able to follow my career since Carifta.
I think I'm an old spirit, so I know things from way back. I grew up with my grandparents, so I think I was born in the 20s, you know? So, yeah, I know a lot of things.
So Gardner, I could tell him, I saw your name and I was like, Dr. Neil Gardner. No, man, I know a Neil Gardner, but I don't know a doctor.
Yeah. So, we know it well. We were watching Olympics from, don't be fooled by the young look. Are you competing in Atlanta Olympics? I mean, World Championships. I know you're a chiropractor, but before we get into all of that, where did it all start for you?
Which part of it? The professional side or the athletic?
Track and field. Track and field first to say.
All right, so I don't know if you guys are aware, but track and field wasn't my first sport.
Yeah.
The first sport that I had any kind of interest in. Not ability, just interest. My first sport was actually table tennis.
Yeah. So I heard.
And this is how this connection was rekindled, if you will, because, you know, Peter just made a racket for me the other day, and everybody who sees the play with it say, why Peter do that same man and make such a fast racket, such a low level play?
Yeah.
But, you know, table tennis is my first love. But in third form at Woolman, in the second term of the third form, I was suspended from the table tennis club
Yeah.
over the usual foolishness.
Yeah. Kids will be kids.
Well, not foolishness on my part. Foolishness
Yeah.
on the part of the guy who was supervising us.
Yeah.
And he just decided that he was going to get me going, so he got me going.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I took up track and field after I left the club, and the rest is history, I suppose. It turned out that I was much track and field. I didn't even realize it. And from third form, this was 1988, I went from finishing third at Sports Day in February of 88 to finishing second at Champs 6 weeks later.
Yeah, 6 weeks later. Yeah.
6 weeks later, to winning at the Miami Classic Invitational Track Meet for the under 14 age group in June of that year. The following year, I went to the Character Game and I finished third in under 17, although I was only 14.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So the career kind of went very quickly because despite my size, I was pretty good at jumper. I actually jumped 7 feet in high school.
Yeah. And you're not that tall. That means you have some spring, man.
No, I'm only 5'9" and 3/4.
Yeah. Can't leave out the 3/4. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Trust me.
Yeah.
So I did that in high jump, which is 2.14 meters. I did 771 in the long jump, which is 25, I think, 3.5.
Yeah.
I did 1562 in the triple jump, 1561 in the triple jump. At the time, the chance record was 1562, so I was just under that. I did that at Character Game.
Yeah.
I got a scholarship to study at the University of Michigan, and because of injuries, I had to stop jumping.
Yeah, because I was wondering why hurdles, because you did an array of events.
Right, and I did sprint hurdles in high school, but because of a groin injury that I kept getting when I was jumping, I asked the coach if I could try different events. And he said which event I was interested in. I said I want to try the 4 hurdles. And his immediate response was, no way, because you're too valuable with so many other events. If you do the 4 hurdles, you really can't do much else because it's too taxing. Right? Since I'm at least hurt right now, can I at least do the event? Maybe I'll just get a little bit stronger for the 110 or whatever. So he said, fine. So he allowed me to train for it for 1 week and then do a time. The exposure hurdler we had at the school at the time was a guy who ran 54 seconds in the 400 hurdle, which was very, very
Yeah.
And so we did a time trial. And he, myself, and another athlete ran together, and I beat them by like 2.5.
In a week.
So in 1 week of training, I ran 6 or something like that. And the coach ran over to me and said, all right, so when do you want to do this?
Yeah. So you decided that you wanted to do 4 hurdles. That was your because of the injury. You said, I think I can do this 400 hurdles thing.
Yeah, it just looked like it kind of fit my personality, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 4 hurdles, that's a rough event. I mean,
you were so good at the 110 hurdles. Why not the 110 instead of the 4?
Well, I was already doing the 110.
No, okay.
Right. So I would do at the championships, the conference meets, I would do the 4 hurdles and 110 is what I decided that I would go and do instead because I couldn't jump anymore.
Yeah.
And so fast forward, at the end of that season, I broke the school record.
Yeah.
I went to the CSC Games for Jamaica. I finished 3rd at our trials. I went to NCAAs. I qualified for NCAAs in that event, and I couldn't even qualify in the 110 meter hurdle.
Yeah.
That's how that event just took over.
Yeah.
The next year, so this was 1995. Then I started 4 hurdles. I went to the Olympics for Jamaica.
Yeah.
So in 1 year, I moved from just being introduced to the event to being on the Olympic platform. I was able to finish that year. I was the 6th fastest competitor in the world.
Yeah.
Although 4 of the guys who would have run faster than me were in my semifinals at the Olympics. And back then, the top 4 went to, and I finished 5th.
Yeah. If you're in the next heat, you would have qualified. Yeah. After just a year of switching to the 4 hurdles.
I wish it continued the same way, but the fairy tale didn't continue along the same trajectory. But this is what it is. We have injuries and illnesses that kind of set that back. But yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't even try shot put. I mean, you seem to just, once you put your mind to it, you just do it. As a shot put don't fit your personality.
No, don't fit my personality. I don't fit my body.
you know your capabilities.
Javelin.
Javelin, but you seem to be, multi-talented.
I can't even chew up mango much less.
You'd be surprised because from high jump and long jump and triple jump and then hurdles and then 4 hurdles.
One point just you're doing the hip.
Yeah, you hip.
So that's an interesting story because that was my first year in Class 1. In 1992, I was supposed to be doing the heptathlon, and the coach expected that I would win the heptathlon, I would win the high jump, win the long jump. Back then, it didn't have any restrictions on the number of events you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I actually entered for the high jump, the long jump, the triple jump, the 110 hurdle, and the heptathlon. So I basically lived on the track. And those days, the champs was only over 3 days. Thursday to Saturday. So it's not like now when you have until Tuesday.
You have breaks.
It's in 3 days. And so, but unfortunately for me, 1 month before champs, exactly 1 month, 4 weeks before champs, I got chickenpox. And I had chickenpox for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I could not, because of how infectious it is, I wasn't allowed to train. But then I couldn't train because it made me so weak.
Yeah.
And then when I came back from chickenpox, I had 2 weeks to try to prepare for champs. I remember that I would run a workout and running 300 on the women's track. I'd be able to run 36, 37 seconds repeatedly. When I went back, I couldn't even run 46 seconds.
Yeah.
And then by the next week was champs, so I had 2 weeks to prepare, and I still did all the events at champs, but I was only able to win the sprint hurdle. Win the heptathlon. I won the hurdle, but I was not strong enough to win the triple jump or the long jump. I finished 4th or 5th in both of those, and the high jump I finished 2nd.
So which event did you enjoy competing the most at? Because out of all these events, you must have been one like, I like doing this one the best. Separate apart from the injuries and what your career.
That's a really, really interesting question because I like the different events for different reasons.
Yeah. Because I like the high jump. I can't do it, but I think I would like the high jump.
I love the high jump. I was an excellent high jumper.
Yeah.
And what I enjoyed about doing the high jump was psyching out my opponent because most of them would have been taller than me. So what I would do, I would walk up to the bar, and because I was so short, it's bars at 6 feet. I'm walking underneath the bar.
Yeah.
So I'd walk up to the bar with the bar well over my head. I'd step back a foot or two, and then I just do a couple steps and jump over the bar. And people like, and sometimes I just jump and step over it as if it's nothing.
Yeah. Psych out your opponents.
Psych them out on that's fine. Really win championships, you can't let the guy who's gonna be your biggest rival think that he has a chance to beat you. You have to psych him up before he even touches the track.
Yeah, what I like with those events is like you go back and forth and then the height increases instead of one-off race, where you have to run your race and
exactly
lane and you compete and it's finished. But with the head-to-head thing with the high jump and
long jump. High jump and okay, so the difference between the high jump and long jump, most people don't realize, is that with the long jump, you can win on their first jump.
Yeah.
You understand? It's the person who gets the furthest jump that wins the competition.
Yeah.
In the high jump, if your highest clearance happens at the lowest height, it makes no difference.
Yeah.
It benefits you not. You have to make sure that your highest clearance is at the highest possible height.
Yeah.
So you have to be good when it matters at the time it matters, so that
Yeah, and then there's countbacks. Cause you can fail at the same height, and then countbacks. Yeah, so to me, the high jump, I like the high jump.
Tactical. It's very tactical.
Mr. Gardner, just one last question before you go. Take me back to 91 champs.
Okay.
Record high jump, record long jump, record 110 hurdles. How did you feel?
All right. So I started the 110 hurdles the year before in 1990 when I was in first year classes. But I was only able to finish 5th or 6th at champs in that event. The following year, it was me and the Class 3 champion 2 years earlier. His name was Wayne Fenton. And he was my teammate. The first showing of the hurdles and national hurdles and field events championship was that same year, 1991. And Wayne Fenton had beaten me in that first staging of that event in the 110 hurdles, but I was leading him for about 4 or 6, the first 4 or 6 hurdles, but then I was wondering where he was, and so I basically stopped and was looking around for him, and then I messed up, and then he passed me, so I decided that's not gonna happen again. So my first record was actually the long jump. On day 1, I jumped. The record at the time was 7.05 meters or something like that. Yeah. And I jumped 7.12 meters, which was one of the lowest distances I jumped all season, but I still got the record. And all 5 of I did 6 jumps, but 5 of my jumps would have won the competition. So I did that. Then I did the high jump the next day on the Friday evening. I came into the competition when the last person was finished jumping. So that's kind of how good I was compared to the other guys in my class. I started jumping at 2 meters. The person who finished second jumped 195. So my first jump was at 2 meters. Yeah. My second jump was at the record, which was 2.05. The year before was 2.04. So I set it to 2.05 and broke that record with my second jump rather. Yeah. My first attempt at that height. And then I put it to 210. And I only was able to do 2 attempts, but then the hurdles, I had to leave for the hurdles. So I just discontinued. Left for the hurdles. And I decided that because I was tired, I just wanted to just have a safe victory in the heat of the hurdles. And then come back for the finals on Saturday and to run hard. Yeah. When I ran it, I won by far. And the next afternoon when we were warming up and marshalling to come out to the track to run, I saw an asterisk beside my name in the results from the heat, and I didn't understand what that was about. But when they were introducing us in the finals, the announcer said, and in lane 4, Neil Gardner, who broke the record last night, in the 110 hurdles. I was like, but I was really struggling out this running hard. So I decided, all right, so that was the record. I'm going to really go after it today. But it was very, very windy. I don't know if you know much about champs on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. But there was a 4.7 meter headwind. 4.7 meters. So I had run 14.32 seconds in the heat to break the record. I ran 14.12 seconds in the final, breaking that record in a 4.7 headwind. Yeah, headwind.
Yes.
So I would have run about 13.7 or something. At that time, it's unheard of because no high school or the class 1 record for class 1 for 110 was like 13.96. So nobody was really running any faster than that. So potentially to run under 14 seconds would have been just phenomenal.
So you run from the high jump pit to the long jump pit to the hurdles. Back in the day, they had champion boy at champs at that time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously you must have won it that year for sure with all those records.
That was the first year I won it.
Yeah, that was the first year I did. So I guess you won it the year before or the year after?
No, the year after. So I won it again in 1992. And then I won it again in 1993.
There you go.
I think we need to call Bazowatz, you know. We need a statue for him.
I mean, with all these back in the day, yeah. And then, wow.
I can have it put down right at what was I.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
I'm just trying to picture, and then back in the day, as you said, he didn't have the scheduling was way different. So the rest in between and the events.
So you have to run.
Yeah.
In fact, my last year was unfortunate. I did 5 events.
Mm-hmm. That's illegal now.
That's illegal now. I jumped long jump, triple jump, 110 hurdles, and 4x1.
4x1, yeah.
My first event was a triple jump. I won that one.
Mm-hmm.
In the long jump, I finished second. That's the year that Leon Gordon broke the champ record.
Yeah.
But back then, we didn't have a wind gauge.
Yeah.
And when Leon broke that record, it was the wind was really gusting at that time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in the second half of the round, he couldn't even. My jump was the furthest by far when the wind had changed direction. Well, I finished second. In the following event was the 110 hurdles. I was the favored athlete to win that one.
Mm-hmm.
The high jump was going on at the same time though. So I had to discontinue the high jump, come across to the 110 hurdles, do the hurdles, and then go back to the high jump.
Yeah.
Wow.
But when I came over to the hurdles, they actually started the event 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to warm up over the hurdles at all. So I ended up, I don't know if you know much about the technicalities of the 110 hurdles, but in the race, in the finals, I stopped at the first hurdle because my wrong leg came up.
Yeah.
So I had to stop and switch legs. I was in last position by about half a hurdle by the time I was at hurdle number 2.
Yeah.
Last position by about half a hurdle. That year, Maurice Wignall was the eventual winner.
Mm-hmm.
By hurdle 4, I started to get back into my rhythm. And I was still in last position at hurdle 4. There are 10 hurdles in the race.
Yeah.
By hurdles 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, I just started passing people.
Yeah.
I finished second
To Maurice Wignall.
to Maurice Wignall by 1/10 of a second.
Yeah.
We both went down on the line together, and he outleaned me on the line.
Yeah.
And it was
After readjusting in the middle of the race.
after stopping.
Yeah. Stop. Well, not even readjusting, stopping.
Right, I actually stopped. But
Yeah.
I ran that, so he ran 14 points, and that year was hang time, which is the other thing I guess that annoyed me. He ran 14.2, I ran 14.3,
Yeah.
and the day before I had run 13.7
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
heat.
Yeah.
So it was that much of a disparity.
Yeah.
He's a champion, and he went on to be quite an awesome hurdler for Jamaica.
Yeah.
So I have no embarrassment to say that I lost to Maurice Wignall.
He was your schoolmate as well. I think he went to
He
Woolmarch.
went to Calabar.
Calabar. Oh,
Right.
Calabar. Yeah.
He's still a good kid, though.
Yeah. I give him that. Wrong school, but still a good kid. Yeah.
Still a good kid,
Yeah, still a good kid. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, interesting story. I didn't know all of this, and I mean, doing all these events from champs, and champs is in 3 days' time. Can you imagine the athletes now going through all of that? Because now you can't compete in so many events. And
In so many events. I think the idea that they have is correct in that they don't want to overwork the athletes,
yeah,
but it's not the number of events that overworks the athletes. And this is a mistake that I think ISA made and continue to make, because they're forcing kids to specialize too early.
Yeah.
The issue that causes burnout in athletes is the way that the coaches train them.
Yeah.
Not how many events you do in a one-off competition.
Because you still can be overworked if you just run 100 and 200, or even just 100.
Which is why you see many of the top 100, 200, 400 meter specialists in high school not matriculating into a professional career.
Especially on the male side.
Especially on the male side.
Yeah.
Because the training is just not appropriate for that age group.
Yeah, because even some of my other co-hosts had to the point that some of these kids lift too heavy, and he's against
and lift too early.
Not lifting weights, but lifting heavy weights at that
Right.
age. Yeah.
And early, exactly,
Yeah,
and too
way
early.
early, yeah.
Because it is when your body is still growing, the tendons don't attach to the bones as well, so you can't put it under as much force.
Yeah.
And so you're setting the athlete up for injury.
Yeah. And then injury, injuries is a hell of a thing in sports. It's hard to come back from that.
That break a champion.
Yeah.
Injuries are what make and break a champion.
Yeah. And I said with the workload but with the thing now, coaches are getting better. So we see better coaches all around in the schools.
But you see, the problem is that it's hard to quench the thirst for victory.
Yeah.
That is the problem. So coaches want to be known as having brought a team to win a champ.
Yeah.
So they will push their athletes, and sometimes they may push them too far.
Yeah.
And that is the challenge I have. I've been working with many athletes who have gotten injured over the past, and seeing how those injuries is as a result of the overworking that they went through during training.
Yeah.
So it's really challenging for me to see that.
Yeah, and I said, I see it happening way more on the male side versus the female side. I don't know if it's because females mature earlier than males, but even so, the workload should be less. As I said, because it's not a matter of how many events you do, it's a matter of the workload. Because you can do 3 events and be fine.
You can do 4 events and you're fine.
Yeah.
It's how you're preparing the athlete.
Yeah.
Women and men are very different physiologically. The same way somebody who does the shot put, you usually see these very big, powerful, muscular guys.
Yeah.
You can't ask them to run an 800 meters around the track because their muscles are too big.
Yeah.
And because of the size of the muscles, their power output is exceptionally high, but their repeatability is exceptionally low. So they fatigue easier. Well, I use that kind of comparison to an 800-meter athlete's frame and to see how different their frames would be, to compare between a man and a woman. Men are typically bulkier, more muscular, so we can exert a whole lot more force. But what is not known is that women usually can repeat a lot better. So their percentage that they can repeat, let's say for 20 reps, they can get to probably 80% of their maximum and do that for 20 reps. Whereas a man can only do about 60% of his maximum for 20 reps. So women, if you push a woman in training, she can go harder and harder and harder, not tear her muscles because she's not exerting enough forces to tear and then recover.
Yeah, she has less muscles. She has less muscle.
Muscle mass. Whereas a male, he will be able to exert a lot more force, but
he has more power.
And so if you push him by having him repeat too often, he's going to break down and tear much easier and shorten his career. It's the same thing that happens at the professional level. You have coaches who are great at coaching male and coaches that are great at coaching female. Usually you find that you don't have a coach great at coaching both because coaching styles typically are constant and they don't adapt to the athletes that they have enough. And so you find if a coach pushes their athletes very hard, the women may flourish and the men will suffer. And if a coach doesn't push their athletes hard enough, the men may flourish and the women will be underworked.
I get what you say. The men have more power, so they use that power, and with that, you tend to be injured more. But before we go, Dr. Newgard, I want to leave us with your most memorable moment from your track and field career. It could be that high jump, that coming back from the hurdles, that Olympic. I'm sure you're full of memories, but you can leave us with 3. If one is too much, you can leave us with your most memorable moment from your track and field career.
2, and they happened in the same year. And with contrasting results. One was when I won the national championship for NCAA in college. I won the 400 hurdles in '96. And then I finished 5th in the 400 hurdles at the Olympics. But those two races were my most memorable. I remember being just running by everybody after the last hurdle, not seeing anyone, just seeing the finish line in front of me and nobody around me, not hearing anybody.
Yeah.
That's the first time in college that I'd had such a dominant race, right? And so I was very, very excited about that. I was like, am I really winning? Am I really winning? Am I really winning? Am I really winning? Right? And that was that. But then, very similarly, at the Olympics, I was in lane 1. And lane 1, as you would know, is the hardest lane to run around the track, but it's also the hardest lane to hurdle from. And when I was doing my warm-ups over the first 2 hurdles, the 2 scoreboards for the high jump were blocking my view of the first 2 hurdles.
Yeah.
I tried to get the attention of the organizers, but no, they would not move it. None of us is Jamaican athletes, right? So I said, fine, I'd have to run. So I ran. I was about second to last, if not last place, up at the 8th hurdle. And I just turned on the jet. And I started to close on everyone, except the person who was the eventual winner. But I closed on everyone. The winner ran 47.95 seconds. I ran 48.30 seconds. Finished 5th. 48.30 seconds. Second place was 48.28 seconds.
Out of lane 1, you're closing in.
Second place was 48.28 seconds. Third place was 48.28 seconds. Fourth place was 48.28 seconds. I was even 5th with 48.30 seconds in a 4-way photo finish.
That was a dip at the line.
And I swore that I had already passed those guys.
But
I was coming from behind them. I swore I had already passed them. So I mentioned something to you that you probably don't know. I'm legally blind in my right eye. And so when I was in lane 1, they're all on my right side. And as I was running them down, I saw when I caught them, but they came out of my peripheral vision now. So I saw that I passed them until I dipped for the line and turned my head. I saw that everybody was still there. Because I actually, if I just ran all the way through the line, I'm sure I would have got that second place. It is what it is.
This is what it is, But I mean, it's still a memorable moment. That was your PB, right? That race.
That was my PB.
Out of lane 1. So you had the unfavorable lane, and I mean, as I said, they were in your peripheral vision. So, it
was a wonderful race. I executed it brilliantly. I felt proud of myself. But I was able to witness something even greater in the very next race, which was a Jamaican woman winning gold medal for the first time at the Olympics.
Leon Hemmings.
Very next
Atlanta.
Race.
I remember that as a kid. Thanks, Dr. Neil Gardner. I mean, we should have you again on the show because I want to touch into after your career and how you became a doctor. But we leave that for our next day because it's time for sports commentary. I want to thank you for taking the time out to be a guest here on Primal. And I mean, we'll see you again in the table tennis room soon because I know you're back. All right. Thanks, Doctor.
Blessings.
All right.
Sports commentary
with the controversial boss somewhere, not at the midway point, but we always have to drop in the controversial boss. So I'm curious to hear what kind of
controversy
him having store for us.
Not this week.
Not this week. All right, take it away, Peter.
Greetings to our audience somewhere in the internet land. But today, exceptional show. We're having for the first time another innovation. A live studio audience. Can we hear from the crowd? First time on Primal. We have people as far away as Upper St. Andrew, or as close as Upper St. Andrew, and as far away as Ecuador, Quito, Ecuador. They're inside here. For the live studio show. So things getting bigger and better. UFC 286. This is an unusual time. I was wrong. I thought Kamaru Usman would have dealt with Leon Edwards very easy, but I was wrong. First of all, Leon Edwards beat him, but all of a sudden, the press, the Jamaican press is claiming Jamaican-born Leon Edwards. That's how you know you do well, you know. You're Jamaican-born now. Nobody was saying that this guy was Jamaican-born until he beat Usman. But I think Usman learned nothing from the first fight. Every time I have a table tennis game or a fight, I learn something and I carry forward. Usman didn't carry anything forward. He was the same Usman, didn't do any adjustments. Even the head kick was able to get to him. He showed no adjustment. On the other hand, Leon Edwards, you know, there's a boxing philosopher that I watch, you know, his name is Teddy Atlas. You know Teddy Atlas? Teddy Atlas says holding a title makes you 20% better. And I can tell you, there are some players who, some sportsmen, Simon Tomlinson wasn't no big thing till he became champion. Ken Watson was no challenge until he became champion. But when they became champion, they got that much better just by having a title to defend. I have the title to defend of the People's Champ, so I know what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm 20% better than y'all. Never mind that. Alcaraz is world number one. Does he deserve to be world number one? I said it last week, but I watched the one. What kind of system can keep Djokovic, who is the real number one, away from playing? He didn't play Indian Wells last week, and he's not playing Miami this week. And if Alcaraz wins again, he'll be number one plus. It's not a fair system. We need to figure this thing out. But the real world number one in table tennis, Fan Zhendong, grill it up in Singapore. Did you watch his match against Malong? He stepped up a gear. He was playing exceptional. In his semifinal against, was it Truls? Against Truls. Truls made some exceptional, clever plays. And Fan Zhendong countered those in the game. Real deserve number one. Real deserve number one. So we got to give it to him. Now, tomorrow, Jamaica plays against Mexico. And absent from the lineup will be the new football sensation, Whisper. What's his last name? Dujon Richards. And I heard the coach say something that I'm supposed to support the coach. We're all supposed to support the coach, but I can't support the coach. Whisper should have gotten a game. In the little touches he got against Trinidad, he was the only player who showed aggression, initiative, control, and he looked like he was going to be the future of Jamaican football. So how you must tell me he has time? I don't buy the he has time argument, you know. They should have given Dujon a chance to play. How many chances will you get to play at altitude against Mexico? You know, and I think it's an opportunity lost. And I coach, I'm a little disappointed. But one thing that doesn't disappoint me though is that the IAAF has finally decided to move against those, what they call them, people of sexual difference, transgender people. The IAAF, including Sebastian Coe, made a decision that will help women's athletics, because these people have an unfair advantage and they might have more equipment than the females. In fact, what they asked the board that cracked the vote, I'm told, they asked the men around the desk, how many of you would agree to an overnight date with Casper Semenya? And all the men kept their hands down. So I think that made the difference. You guys remember Burna Boy concert, where Popcorn came up on the stage and the crowd was excited, and Popcorn, the mic just didn't work. And Popcorn got upset and said, boy, is Shaggy or Shaggy team sabotage the mic and all that. Well, there was a part two to it. Prime Minister Andrew Holness was in Parliament about to announce the budget. And guess what? The microphone stopped working. And he was a little annoyed. I hear that Mr. Mark Golden said that might have been cut short by the hands of the Almighty. and so on. But on a sad note though, I am not happy with the fact that the Minister of Finance, then because he was offended by Mark Golden, he stated that he started to call him Massa Mark, which has connotations of slavery and white manism, and it's a kind of reverse racism, and I think we can do better than that. And the PNP did the right thing. They walked out of Parliament as a result. And that sports commentary, my time to walk out.
Oh boy, I won't touch on the politics. That's not my line of work. But yeah, to touch on, as I said, Dujon Richards, you stated earlier that you wanted him to be in the squad as well. I don't see why not. He's the future and one of the brightest young players coming up. So
Just to let the viewers out there know that the phone lines are now open. Phone
1-876-552-7406, and that's via WhatsApp only.
So
It says 1-876-552-7406.
yeah,
Feel free to call in.
That Whisper should have been in the team because we have talented players here who have been given 1 and 2 opportunities and we don't see them back in it. Alex Marshall, Tariq Magee, 2 games and that's it.
Maggie in particular.
2 games and that's it. We don't see him back in the fray, and we don't want this to. This may not happen to Whisper though, given where he's heading. He may be back in the team quicker than we think, but he's not playing much football right now, so he needs to keep sharp. And games like these is what we need to have him in. Build that confidence.
A Gold Cup later in the year, I think he'll probably be in that squad, hopefully. But I mean, as I said, still one of the strongest output teams we can name nonetheless.
And it'd be a good time for him to gel with Ravel Morrison and Leon Bain.
Yeah, so I mean, tomorrow, March 26th, Jamaica versus Mexico. So what's your prediction for the match tomorrow?
Mexico 2-1.
Mexico 2-1. Yeah, who's going to score for Jamaica then?
Penalty.
One goal.
One goal. No faith in the Reggae Boys in this studio, I tell you, boy. No faith. But coach, Mexico is a tough place to play. Yeah, Mexico is a tough place to play, and I mean, it's gonna be tough.
I'm all night.
1-1 draw.
What?
1-1 draw, and then Coach Halmgrenson will have, the backing of people in the studio again in here because they like to roast the coach. They like to roast the coach, but Reggae Boys looking up. Given the result tomorrow, nonetheless. I mean, later in the year, Gold Cup I think will be a bigger test for us to see where, as I said, give it a bit more time, a bit more. The coach still kind of new.
I know he got the players together for like a 5-day period in Jamaica. But then they go to Mexico. But they arrived in Mexico last night to get training today for a match tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to name the full squad that's there going for Jamaica versus Mexico. The goalkeepers are Amal Knight, Jamel Waite, and Conor Boyce Clark. Defenders, Kemar Lawrence, Mariapa, Amari Bell, Ethan Pinnock, Damien Lowe, Dexter Lembikisia. I can't pronounce that name. Richard King, Javane Brown. Midfielders, Ravel Morrison, Daniel Johnson, John Russell, Demario Phillips, Kevin Lambert. Attackers, Liam Bailey, Karim Paris, Shamar Nicholson, Cor Burke, Chivante Stewart, Bobby Reed, and Jamal Lowe.
Bobby Reed.
I get Bobby Reed don't have the backing in the studio at all again. Bobby Reed a decent player, man. For Jamaica, I think him don't really gel the unit. He missed a couple key chances last year. And you're not going to leave that down. But I think Bobby Reed have more to give to Jamaica. No, Fulham.
Have you ever seen him?
Yeah, man, of course. Yeah, man, Bobby Reed
better for Fulham.
Plays better for Fulham than for Jamaica. Yeah, but give Bobby Reed a little more time. I think I'm going to do something in the colours. Man. I don't know when.
Which colours?
Hopefully soon, but in the Jamaica colours. Yeah, but that's a full squad. As I say, a strong squad. And I mean, Coach Halmgrenson, he have a lot to do because World Cup 2026, so much team can go World Cup and want to make it. 48 teams are in our region. Yeah, and plus with the proximity for us in this region.
He likes to complain.
But I would like.
I hope you don't complain about the altitude. Complains about the feel and the food.
That's a coach. He's a complainer.
He is a complainer.
The man want results, man. The man
so
the coach.
So guys, you know that the Jamaican public is waiting to hear from Simon Thomas. So we're gonna do that interview now. The long-awaited interview. Simon, you ready? O'Neill, Simon and you will exchange places just for the purpose of this interview because public want to hear what Mr. Tomlinson has to say.
I don't even see him these days. I only hear him on Zip in the mornings,
So let me set this up. Let me set this up now. Around the table now, I'm not normally the interviewer now, but so let me set this up. Around the table now, we have two guys who are competing for the record of the most national table tennis titles won by any single person in Jamaica.
Is that so?
Yeah, around this table, it's a lot of greatness.
That's you and Kane?
No, that's you guys. So Simon Thomas, how many national titles you have?
5.
And Kane Watson, you're following behind with?
4.
Well, I'm not going to bring my little pie into it, you know.
But funny enough, just before we started winning it, it was you.
Yeah, but I
Because I dethroned you,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Simon
Okay,
dethroned
okay.
me.
Don't
So
rub
it's
it
the
in.
chain that come on. I mean,
Don't rub
it's
it
the
in.
chain.
No. But unfortunately, this is important news now. Simon Tomlinson announced his retirement from table tennis as a result of an impasse with the Table Tennis Association. It's well known.
Incorrect.
No,
As a result,
no, that's
correct me.
I retired after many more struggles in table tennis. So people, of course, it's very easy to claim the retirement. It's because of the Discourse Association. It's not.
Why do you retire?
Because I believe that my potential in the game I wasn't able to maximize on that potential.
Okay.
So if I'm not able to if I'm not able to compete the way I think I can compete and get to a level I think I can get to, then there's no point in continuing.
You don't like make-up number?
No.
Okay. Now, Kane Watson, who is lagging behind you in the amount of, is an underachiever in the amount of titles won, can I say? But Kane Watson recently announced his dissatisfaction with the Jamaica Table Tennis Association. Yeah. Kane, why did you, what is the issue, brother man?
As Simon said, I mean, constant disappointment over a period of time. And now I'm definitely in the twilight of my career, and I want to compete internationally and in these last stages and not being given the opportunity to go out there and do what I love. As Eddie said in his interview earlier, the sacrifices we make tend to go unappreciated.
You recently qualified for the Pan Am Trials
last year,
which was supposed to be played where?
Last year I went to the Caribbean Championships. I made the top 16 and I qualified for the Pan Am Games, Table Tennis Pan Am Championships. Yeah. That was supposed to be held. That was held in late October, early November.
And you didn't get to go?
And I didn't get to. I was the only qualifier from Jamaica, male. Solisha Young qualified as a female.
Did she go?
She didn't go as well. So Jamaica wasn't represented in that games. And then fast forward to this week where Jamaica should have been able.
You were supposed to be in Guyana
too, and the CSC qualifier. Yes. CSC games is
so why
every
did you
4
not
years.
go? Why did you not go?
The association.
What they said?
They said lack of funding.
So they didn't know the tournament was coming up? Did they get a phone call last
year
to say the tournament was coming up? And they said,
from last year in Cuba, we know that the Caribbean Championships will be held this time around in Ghana. So fast forward 1 year again on, no team is there. No senior team is there. But the juniors left today. I wish them all the best.
How is it the juniors have left and you're here?
They saw it fit to send the juniors.
So they had money, but they chose to spend it on some junior players.
That is the message being relayed to me.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Simon,
there's no knock on the juniors. I wish them the best.
What do you make of it? The leading player in the country, and he's not giving the opportunity to represent his country.
I'm not surprised by it. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not surprised.
It's not shocking.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not first.
It's nothing new.
Yeah.
But there was a big struggle that made news all over Jamaica when Andrew Lou, aka Mr. Chin, Andrew Lou was contesting the presidency with Mr. Godfrey Lothian, rest in peace. And so I thought that you guys were saying bigger and better things were in store for table tennis.
That's what the association that's empowering. That's what they came. That's the vision they came in with. But honestly, from they've been in power, nothing is going on.
So you're saying
not even internationally, not locally.
Yeah.
There's not many tournaments going on.
So I don't want to paraphrase for you guys, but you're saying that you have been hoodwinked, bamboozled.
I know. I mean, I think it was time for a change. I mean, Godfrey Lothian, rest in peace. He did his thing. He had his tenure. We had ups and downs, but what he did for the sport was get more people active in the sport. Definitely, primary school.
But I mean, there
are pros and cons to his.
You felt
tenure.
you'd at least be able to be more active as a table tennis player, surely.
Yeah,
Simon, you want to say something? You didn't land on Plymouth Rock, or?
No, I was saying that for when it was the discourse was happening between this administration and the previous administration, that people were saying bigger and better things. That was
correct.
That was not anything echoed by me even slightly, because my question was, who are the people that you're trying to elect?
Yeah.
How are they involved in table tennis? Are they involved in table tennis? The answer was no.
No.
So
I haven't seen them around in years.
For Mr. Lothian, he was doing what he could do as best as he could. And he was someone who also had no background in table tennis, but he learned over the years to bring the sport into a better light. Which is
Simon, what wrong with we? Why we can't get the administration we deserve? I mean,
the people, I think the people who, and I include myself in this statement, the people who know better aren't involved. The people who can help aren't involved. And this is, again, I include myself in that. I know table tennis a lot better than I would say majority of the people currently involved. And I'm not involved. So we are to blame ourselves, but it also, you do have to hold the administration, because they are the administration accountable.
Too much is given,
but
much
since
is
you have not
expected.
been active in table tennis, I see you all over TikTok and social media. You have become quite famous.
Even while he was playing.
I see you advertising credit card, curry chicken, all kind of thing. Simon, you sure you really wanted to be a table tennis player?
We've spoken about this. I won't go too much into it. Table tennis was not my first love, but it is the sport that I chose to do. It's the sport I chose to be good at. It's the sport I chose to dedicate my time to. So it may not have been my best sport, but it's the sport. It's the only.
What is it that you were good at?
I was better at basketball, and apparently better at social media.
Yeah, Kane Watson. I've been watching this slapping thing going on TV, you know. And every time I see the slap, I'm saying, if Kane Watson ever get in this sport. What do you think about that slapping thing?
No, not me. I'm too dainty for that. No, not this face. No, not me. But even so, before I got into table tennis, my first sport was football. I love playing football. Not many people know this, but I played all prep. I played football growing up.
All prep.
I played all prep.
Yeah.
With the likes of Luton, Shelton, and Navian Boyd. Yeah, I played all prep.
No, we didn't know this.
Nobody knew this. I played under 14 football at Kingston College. But then my growth spurt was, for some reason, table tennis took over. I went into that room and I was like, I can do this thing. Yeah. And then, well, Dr. Neil Garner said his first love was table tennis, and then he got into track and field. Yeah. Lucky for him. For me, it was reverse.
How you maintain your standard, Kane Watson, with Simon not around? How you maintain your standard? I wonder about that.
Boys, I tell you, I mean, I think a lot of mental training. Sometimes I come and you might help me out and you try to keep the ball on the board. Barely. But, you know, it's tough. Somehow I feel that table tennis is still not over.
Simon, you haven't played in a while. Do you think you can still play?
I think if I played nationals tomorrow, I'd win.
It's on. It's on.
When decisions like these are made by either the president or board, who is held accountable? You have the national champion not going.
Yes.
You're sending these bunch of juniors without a senior, which back then, because I know Kane from 25 years now. Kane has been playing.
Probably 45 years, yeah.
From a junior coming up, and he's normally with the senior players as a junior. On tour with the seniors. What has changed now? What is the issue? Who is going to be held accountable now for something like this?
I think that word is the single most prevalent problem that we have is accountability. There is no accountability. Yeah. There's no repercussion.
No, but to compound matters, you know, it's worse than we're making the public feel, you know, because we have invested in the last 4 years in, I would say, 1 or 2 women players. Our best woman player by a long shot is Solisha Young. And I gather she's not playing.
Yeah.
She had stopped playing sometime a few months ago. Stated that she doesn't want to play.
We can't speak for her, but we haven't seen her. So.
Yeah, but what is
Since
going on?
Games
What is going on
in England? I haven't seen her playing any tournaments.
So, all right. So I had a discussion with a track and field athlete. He's one of the best in Jamaica. I won't call his name. And he said that the issue that I was having when it came to Commonwealth and all that is that he said, Simon, you know that what you're doing is pointless. I said, what do you mean? He's like, they're going to get away with it. I say, okay, tell me why. Because they have nobody to report to. They're not accountable for anything. There is no repercussion for what they're doing. So if it's, for example, track and field now, if they don't send Shelley to the World Championships for the same reason. They just take her off a team because of whatever the reason is. What do you think our sponsors are going to say? What do you think Puma's going to say? They are going to be on you about it. There is no way you can get away with that.
Well, I'm gonna turn back over the microphone to the host, but I have to ask one question that I saw Simon ask Valiant, and he asked Valiant. He was on TikTok with Valiant, and he asked DJ Valiant, one of the up and coming dancehall artists. Would you prefer to have bad breath or bad body odor, Simon?
I'm taking bad breath. I'm taking bad breath. The same answer as
well,
Valiant.
that's it from me. I'm gonna turn back over the chair to you.
I tell you,
Yeah, accountability.
Yeah. So again, you if you don't have any, if there's no repercussion for your action, you can get away with anything. So when they take Kane off the team, they take me off the team. Who's going to slap them on the wrist for doing it? Nobody.
That has happened before.
Yeah.
Who selects the team?
Who selects the team? That is a good question.
Yeah, there's a board that selects a team, but usually there's trials and then a selection committee.
Yeah, after the trials, we all know about the trials, but who selects the team?
There's a member.
That's a
There's
good question.
association members and the
There's
association.
supposed to be criteria
Who
for which
signs
a
off?
team
Who
is
signs
selected.
off on the team?
There's supposed to be a criteria by which a team is selected.
So nobody is following that criteria.
Well, if the criteria was followed, I'd have
So I
been
can go back to
I
the
would
past
have-
time when the criteria wasn't followed.
if
and
the
you weren't
criteria
selected.
was there, I would have been a Commonwealth. If criteria, I mean, I guess it's not criteria for you.
I think that hurt me more than it hurt you, because I was out there in the cold, and trust me, I was livid there. I was talking to other people from Caribbean nations, and they heard what was going on, and
Yeah, they called me too.
it's.
Because I hear word out there.
And the funny thing, we love table tennis, and people don't understand the sacrifices we make and the compensation that we get. It don't match up.
What
match up
compensation?
precisely.
There is no compensation.
We basically do this because we love it, and then to not get the opportunity to do what we love for no apparent reason.
Who is the coach?
The coach, my co-host, he's in Ghana now with the juniors, and I said I wish them the best, and I'll be looking
juniors?
closely on a few of the junior players that play here
I
with
didn't
us.
know. I actually didn't know that they were leaving today. I didn't know they had Caribbean.
Yeah, Caribbean
right
juniors.
now.
I'm not even sure how many juniors going. I think probably about 16 of them. Probably about 16. I think so.
It's about 12.
About 12 of them. About 12 of them
Oh,
going.
you're telling
But
me you send
with the likes of Logan Rice, Joel Lamb, I mean, to name a few, Conroy,
so how many?
Joel Butler. I mean, there's some good juniors there that I wish them the best, and I'll be looking closely at their results. But
I'm a straight up person. I just ask questions.
no, I didn't know this. Tell me, you are a straight up person. Yeah.
How many board members are with those juniors?
I'm retired. You asked me.
Again,
I'm no longer part of this association, so I don't know what's going on.
Peter?
I have.
You didn't see the breaking news early in this week? I'd have to ask the coach.
Because for a number of sports, we have persons who can make a team and not selected.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look at the persons leaving with the team, you see a bunch of board members are
Traveling on deals.
traveling, and you're saying why? Sending 12 juniors and not you have at least one senior member, your national player. You're telling me that you can't send enough.
And I think the juniors should go. Juniors should get
I have no problem with the
opportunity to go.
juniors
I have no problem with the juniors going.
Look,
The male team that was supposed to go is just 3 players, and to find funding for 3 players is
not even one.
no. I mean, it's a team. You have to send. You have to send the
I
team.
think I think this goes back to the point I made before, that the people who know about table tennis aren't involved, because I'm not sure if the understanding is there when it comes to the importance of this Caribbean Championship. Now, I'm not involved in table tennis anymore, but this is CAC qualifier, Pan Am qualifier, and Caribbean Championships, and to miss out on 2 of the biggest games in the sport is. It's just not
Carl
good.
also qualify for World Championships as well.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's,
The format change up now, so you have to play at this level to qualify for other.
so
the
and
next
the
level.
reason
So the year's dead.
The reason why I knew this, the reason why I figured this out is because I looked at who is there.
Yeah.
When you look at Puerto Rico, they're not normally at Caribbean Championships, and if
those
they
level
are,
players,
they don't send Brian Afanador, they don't send Daniel Gonzalez, and they don't sell Naranjo.
Yeah.
Right? You look at, and they don't send Melody Diaz or Daniel Rios. If you look at
Cuba.
They don't send Andy Pereira. They don't send Moises. Right? These players are players that play professionally on the circuit. So they're getting them from Europe to come and play Caribbean championships. That speaks to how important that this Caribbeans is. Puerto Rico will normally send a second or third ranked team to Caribbean for exposure, just to have them in a tournament and to say Puerto Rico was there. This time they're sending their number one players. Every country has their number one players
to qualify for events. To qualify for events later in the year. So it's a very important tournament. And I said before the Caribbean Championships, you had the CSC qualifiers, and CSC is every 4 years. So that again is out the window. And mark you, I might not be playing a sport in the next 4 years. So this association knew all of this, and hey,
they
just right, no team going. It's like
I hear that the conference that yes, it was 1 year in the making.
And to say this, I personally have nothing against nobody in the association. I have nothing against the president. I have nothing against council members. But as I stated earlier, too much is given, as much is expected. And they're in the position as the association, as the president, and you're not doing your job, then I think you should leave it alone. I wish him all the best in whatever venture they go into. And even so, I have friends that are in the association and friends outside of me even playing. But you're not doing your job, I mean, it's time to move on. I think that, hey, it's bigger than you, so leave it alone then. The association not doing anything.
You retiring is come as a surprise to me. Where does that leave the senior team? Simon left last year.
Yeah, left me out in the cold, I tell you.
So where does this leave the senior team?
There's no senior team.
They forced me to leave. I didn't choose to leave for that tournament. I was trying to be there for that tournament.
Is it that you guys farm like golden age home? So
we're at it now. We're at the retirement home now, playing table tennis on a weekly basis. Playing ping pong. I still have a little left in the tank because I played yesterday and I made some world class shots against. I don't remember who my opponent was. I mean, somebody was across it, but I tell you, I still have something left in the tank.
Golden girls?
Yeah,
The golden boys,
I mean, someone can still have some running net shots that, world class. But
I also have 20 pounds.
It left a sour taste.
I mean,
I need to go.
It's called good life.
Yeah. For me, this leaves a sour taste in sports in Jamaica, in table tennis, because as I said, the number one female seems like she's out, like Raducanu and the rest. They're just not into it anymore. Last year, the number one player, Simon Tomlinson, left. I was forced to leave based on...
Not forced to leave.
He chose to leave.
He chose to leave.
I know somehow I still feel like there's one tour left in the both of us. I still hold it to my heart,
Both of you guys,
I convince me like Simon.
You guys have both left on a
We're going to go down by, like for example, Trinidad, 2024. So what year we know?
23.
Oh, yeah. 2025. I'll be like Simon. I'll come and go to Trinidad and go remind them, who will be. And
I still Simon hanging out with Peter a little bit too much. Because
Peter passed it on, man.
Both of you guys left under controversial circumstances. Is there something going on?
No, I think it is a reflection of the state of the sport.
Right,
that's all.
I know that you guys have said that you're calling it quits. Any of you planning to run for president?
Not in the near future. You never can tell later down in the road. You never can tell what happened, but no.
I don't know if I'd run for president, but I would like to be more involved in the running of table tennis, because I think, again, the people who can help the sport need to be involved in the sport, and the people who can help the sport aren't currently involved in the sport. So I think that if there is some, structure to the association or to the running of table tennis that I can be involved in, I would involve myself.
What if there's a player boycott?
I don't think there should be a player boycott. But I think that the players have to send a very strong message to the administration or higher up that things either need to change or, things that need to change.
It may not just be a player boycott, because remember the parents are investing their kids.
Yeah, I would never support a player boycott
in these sports, and to see where you have the number one female still as her parents, they have given her the tools that she needs to go forward in this sport, and she seems like she has no more interest, and the association has not find some way to bring her back into the sport. This might just be a case where, okay, send some juniors, and even now sending these juniors, the parents are a little bit still perturbed under the circumstances of how these juniors have gone to the championship. They're happy, yes, but they're still perturbed. And I am of the feeling that former players need to be involved. The running of table tennis has been this way for quite some time. Presidents come in with, it seems to be a Jamaican motto now. You come in with these long lists of promises, and when your tenure is up, you can't tick one thing that you promised.
No.
Probably you had a little fine print that says get Kane and Simon off the team and out of the sport. So you can't tick.
You think it's a plot?
Yeah, probably that's what they wanted to get us out the sport.
Flat on us?
Yeah. Probably they plotted on us.
Because,
But I don't see why you'd want us out of the sport. And with our knowledge base.
I think that they're, in order to, you said that the number one female player is seemingly not playing and you want to pull her back in. I think that there would have to be a level of maturity when it comes to the members of the association. So I don't think that that's going to happen based on the actions that I've seen them take and the methods by which they go about doing what they're doing. I don't think they have the maturity to. I don't think how the Michael Jackson song said that you start with the mind in the mirror, right? You have to look at yourself first before you can try and draw.
I mentioning that last year.
Yeah, but hold on. The next thing after Michael Jackson saying, looking at the man in the mirror, I want to make a change. So what's the change you want to make with the man in the mirror?
The change would have to be.
Andrew Lou is the man in the mirror, right? Are you saying that we need a change?
I'm saying that we need to.
Are you asking him to change his ways?
No, I'm saying change. Well, technically, yes, change the way that you approach situations. Don't take the number one player off the team after he's fulfilled the criteria and then say nothing to him. That
communication is.
That to me is cowardice.
No message could have been any clearer.
Well,
You want to make that change. You gotta look at yourself and make that change.
Well, that change would need to happen because that's the only way that you could get the players back to the table. Literally, you don't get players back by immature actions and then no communication and lack of action.
That's not the first time I'm hearing that. You had mentioned it last year, and Dale mentioned it last week that he found out that Kim went going by a text message.
Yeah.
That was sent to him.
Yeah.
So this seems to be a case where the administration themselves need to say, hey, just send a text. No formal meeting or anything like that. We need a way forward for table tennis in Jamaica.
I mean, there's
What's the way forward?
what's the way forward?
We have what?
As Simon said, the players,
champs.
people who can do more should do more. I mean,
Or will they allow you guys to do more?
there's a lot of infighting, and it's not in table tennis alone. Other sports are out there that suffer the same thing, and I think it's not in Jamaica alone, and it's a society on a whole. I mean, but I think unity is strength. We need to come together, and hey, we always talk about talent, and we know that is always here, but we want to get back to that level. Work has to be done, and it's not easy. I don't think running the association is easy. For one, I don't think I am equipped now to do that job.
Definitely not.
Definitely not equipped. I mean, right now, I think I'm still more in the athlete phase than in the administrative phase. But
I think
going forward, we need a change.
a change, and I think
We
the
need a change.
change starts from being honest.
We need a change.
I don't think there's much honesty within the Table Tennis Association. And I'm going to say this because listening to a few interviews with the president, he's saying, oh, they were in debt from the last previous administration. And it just sounds like the the ply of many of the presidents of many associations. Last year we had some issues and inherit some debt and we don't have much money and they roll over every year the same thing, the same thing. You have gotten into this position, you have no money. Make that known before. Make that known prior, come out and say, boy, meet with the players, meet with parents, meet with everybody, have a town hall meeting and say, hey, this is where table tennis is at. We are going to need the full support. I think going forward, that is what is needed to have.
Communication.
And I don't see where
accountability
it is going to happen because former players are shying away. Him can't do no retire.
Well, even if I'm not retired, what is there to do?
Just
nothing. Not send us on teams that we're already not going. Take someone off a team. And even so, that wasn't sponsored or paid for by the JTTA.
And the reason why I say it sends a bad message because if you were to have a tournament similar to the one that Optical Solution had just a couple of weeks ago, and given everything that is happening within table tennis right now, would you think another sponsor would want to come up and say, hey?
We have to clean up in-house first. We have to clean up what's going on. And communication is lacking. Accountability is lacking. And
I know that they have elections coming up, or they're supposed
to have elections coming up. So.
My question, and it's the same thing that
if somebody is going power now, what?
Everybody had the same issue when it came to Mr. Lothian. Yeah. Everybody was saying, "Oh, get him out. He's hurting the sport, whatever it is." And my question is the same now as it was then. If not him, then who? Yeah. And everybody said, "Oh, this administration is going to be the next big thing. They're promising all these things." Yeah. Look at us now. So after this, who comes after? It's my
promises, and then what will they do?
If you want to get rid of them, by all means, go ahead. But who are you going to replace them?
Who's up next? What are they going to do?
Why are former players shying away?
Because of what's currently going on.
Throw your hat in the ring.
We are not properly equipped to throw hats in the ring. If I could be president, if I had faith in myself to be president right now, to be able to run a stronger, better association, I would. Yeah. I cannot.
How about being advisors to the president?
We've been advising everyone since Keith Garvey.
No. And some people don't want to be advised. Some people want to dictate.
Some people prefer to dictate.
Authoritarian. What's pronounced that word? Yeah, that word. Authoritarian. Yeah, it's just they're in power. They have the say. So what they say goes on. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm not doing this.
Who is making these decisions? Because
dictatorship.
To me, it seems as if the players' hands are tied behind them.
Yeah. Because even so, I've been quiet in the past on a lot of issues because deal with it in house, but now I'm at the stage where I guess the gloves are off.
The coach hands is tied behind him.
Yeah, the coach is in a position where he can't speak for and against certain things, but he's trying to make the sport better, doing his job, coaching, bringing up some promising juniors.
And he has asked me on several occasions to come and play every tournament that's going on. Yeah, so he's trying hard to get us back into it.
Yeah, so I mean exhibitions.
With a purse?
No, again, so if you say with a purse, or motivation has never been the money in table tennis, because there is not much money in table tennis. Just flat out, there is not much. It's possible to make a living, sure, but not locally. Yeah. And
you'd have to go Europe.
So what Peter had said earlier, that the supposed reason for my retirement was the commotion with the association, incorrect. Right? So the table tennis in Jamaica, I have no interest personally in winning 10 national championships. I have no interest because there's nothing to gain from that. There is something to gain from playing the sport at the highest level, which is what I want to do, which is why I started. I never started table tennis with the intention of winning national championships. I didn't care about that because that is only a stepping stone to something else. But if I've done that 5 times and there is still no way to progress to the next level, then there is no point. That is the reason for retirement. It's not because winning nationals is not fun or whatever. No, it's because there's always the next level. With this association or with any association, I always have to think about the next level. How are you going to progress? What's the point in a child being involved in table tennis now in Jamaica? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to take them? What's the next step for them?
To be the next national champion? Okay. Yeah, to be the next national champion, you have to look beyond that. I mean, yeah, I play nationals this year, win. Or if Peter plays win or Simon plays win, what next? But I mean,
I'm just saying if I play that win. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, definitely not the next hand.
Throwing that out there.
The other hand if it was other hand, you know, who definitely
I would
win
have
that,
loved to
you know.
see you guys on the European circuit, one of those clubs.
I already was.
Well, you know, time flies on the Primal Sports Sticks, and that was a lot of table tennis. But I mean,
A lot more to come.
a lot more to come. But champs coming up later on this week starts in 3 days. That's a big thing coming up later on in the week. Tomorrow, Reggae Boys playing in the Azteca. If you have time, 7 o'clock, tune in, watch that. But I mean, we're short on time. I want to thank our Fit FM listeners, 96.7 out of Chilani. I mean, all viewers them on
Online.
Primal 4K app. In studio audience. I mean, our 2 interviewees today, Dr. Neil Gardner, Eddie Lewis out of Ghana. I want to thank them for taking the time out to come on Primal Sports 6 again. I mean, hey.
Congrats to the Guyanese team for those 2 Brahman.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Champ, former number
I mean,
one. Simon
ZJ
Thomas,
TikTok in studio, coming in studio. I mean, gracing us with his presence. I don't see him again. I don't know. He's
do I
retired.
feel
Him just doling me and Peter again down here. Me and Peter have been holding down the city. Down by, he would even pass through.
Social media, man,
you know,
you'll be here.
we're and I mean, one love from the Primal Sports Decks. DJ Gaddafi is up next. I'm your host Kane Watson. See you again next week. This time.
Peace. One love.
Come rewind, girl. I get the money if you make you mine. If you're loving it.